Hello, film students. This is Susan Smith, Susan Elaine Smith, and today we're doing part 2 of how to have extras, or what they officially are now called in Hollywood area, background actors. Remember, in the different things that we're talking about, we're trying to have textures, extra layers, extra details to your frames of photography in the filming and to your pictures. And this helps to have a more elaborate professional film set instead of just having a plain actor in front of a couple of pieces of furniture making a film, because that almost looks like a theater or a skit a lot of times. So when you add all the extra interesting details behind the scenes, then it makes it look even more professional. Because if you'll look at a movie or a TV show or episodic on the computer by a professional film company, you will see that in the little frame, so let's say this frame that I'm doing right here, are especially on a professional set, this is not a professional set, but there are thousands of details in the frame of a professional set. For example, you see the little fasteners on my blouse, you see the plants, you see the pot, you see maybe the carpentry above. And so all of these add interest to the set. The problem is when you add interest, that you have to make sure, like, let me see if I can move this, that there's not a plant coming out of their head, or there's not an extra background artist person with their head showing, like, say right here, coming out of your head. So doing a professional award-winning film is the difference. Well, what I was going to say is it can be complicated. It can be very detailed. The difference between an amateur and a professional is in the detail and the time you take. Now, that does not mean, especially if you're a film student that's just started on learning how to do these things, that there is condemnation or judgment. It is a progress. It is progressive. It is layer upon layer, step upon step. So all of this about true filmmaking is complicated. If you haven't got even halfway there yet, that's okay. But these lessons are to help you learn how you can add to it. So background extras or background actors are very important, especially when you have like an outdoor scene or a marketplace scene. And the problem is that it is more complicated, so you have to add, say you're at a cafe or something. You don't want to show just the table and the 2 or 3 actors. And maybe a waitress coming up. It would be a lot better if you could have 2 or 3 tables behind them, or sitting on a bar stool, or you could have them standing up, a couple of people standing up talking and then moving out of the scene. But the thing is, like I said, you have to frame them right, or you have to put the people at the right place so that the actors are still front and center, but there's no arm coming out of their head or head coming out of their head or whatever. So say if I was in a cafe right now and I was talking to somebody or whatever, you would want to have the actor maybe right here in the background, and it would be a few feet away, and then that way if the people were talking, then it would show that there's movement in the scene and that there's actually a cafe or marketplace or outdoor scene going on. You also have to make sure that the actors and actors are not even using a whisper. They're pretending to talk, but they need to use actual words, or otherwise the mouth movement won't look as realistic. But they cannot even use a whisper because sound equipment is extremely sensitive and they would hear that. So if I'm saying I'm going to walk the dog today, I would go, and you might even heard that a little bit. My lips made a little bit of noise, but not too much. And so the people would have to still be talking to each other, and they have to really coordinate that sometime because you need to make it look like a realistic conversation. So if both people are talking at once, then that doesn't work because they're both going, and you see how that doesn't look realistic because I wasn't talking words. So you have to train your extras, and you have to train your background artists, and they cannot wear anything that'll put the attention onto them. So if they're wearing a bright shirt or striped shirt or whatever that distracts in the frame. So that's why a lot of times for background artists, they always tell you to bring 2 or 3 outfits, and then the wardrobe interchanges or mixes them up or whatever, but they try as much as possible to have solid colors and then in their clothing. And then black, white, and red are the hardest colors to film without filters on the camera. And sometimes the newer cameras and the right lighting can do that, but mostly it just is more complicated all around. So you try not to have black, white, or red, especially for the extras. And then so that makes grays, blues, greens, pinks, mild oranges or mild yellows, browns, beiges. All those different colors are better than black, white, or red. And so you have the extra, one person will talk and then the other talk, and then one will look like they're listening. And remember, they can't overact, so they can't be going, yes, oh, okay, and all that. You got to be sure that they don't overact too, because the extras who are not trained a lot of times will overact. So you can't have that either. They cannot distract from the main actor's role and dialogue and framing, but at the same time having that movement, that slight movement back and forth behind the scene just makes it look so much better. Like I had said on the last part, I was watching an independent film, and they had filmed in a wing or a area of the airport, and there was absolutely nobody else in the entire wing. Well, that was an airport. That was it definitely looked fake and wrong. They could have at least had some workers or pilots or a couple of people walk by or something, but they didn't. It was completely empty airport, which, especially in America and United States, that ain't gonna happen. The airports are very, very busy, and this was in the United States, so there should have definitely been some movement, because it did not look realistic at all. It looked very amateur. And so, like I said, these are all things that we can add details to our different film sets. And so because of this, as you see, there's quite a few rules and tips for extras about what they wear and how they talk, and make sure they're not exaggerating and all that. Is a lot of times you have a production assistant who is only over the extras. This is called an extras coordinator. And so that's actually quite a bit of important role, because in the United States, and if I had started out earlier, as I had said previously on other videos, I grew up in a toxic, dysfunctional home in America and toxic, dysfunctional marriage in America. And so I did not get to start as early. I did not start till I was about 40 in film. Before that, I did drama ministry in a little theater. But the point is, there are, in every major cities, there are people who have businesses called Extras Casting. And they make a lot of money doing only extra works. So Central Casting in Los Angeles is the #1 background actors Hollywood agency, and they have all kind of rules, all kind of things on their website about extras rules, background actors rules, protocol, etiquette, manners, all that. So if there's any way that you can look up Central Casting, Los Angeles, California in America, and look at their website, it'll have so many good things. That is something that I actually have on my list for me to do more, because I did do it in Atlanta, Georgia of America, and I did some extras casting for a film, and I was quite good at it. And in the old days on film set, I did set decorating, props, locations, pre-production type things. But especially now that I'm getting older and it's harder to be on set, because in America we spend 12 to 14 hours, sometimes 16 hours. That's a standard day on a professional Hollywood set. That's how long it takes to get everything perfect. And that's kind of what I was going to say, or I said a little bit, that to really get a professional, amazing looking film with all the details right, takes 12 to 14, 16 hours a day. Now, it's hard to do that, especially if you're not getting paid. So we would get paid in the Atlanta or the Los Angeles, or where else was that? Was I at? Austin, Texas, in America. We would get paid, and all the people would get paid, and they were getting paid a lot of money, the more professional people. And so you can spend that much time. And so it's really hard to do it if you're not getting paid and you can only spend 2 to 4 hours a day. But that's why it's good, the more people that you have that want to get involved and get on film and start working as a team, the more people involved you can have. And so if you look on the internet, how to be an extra, how to be a background actor, or how to coordinate an extras casting coordinator or an extras on-set coordinator, then it'll give you all kind of information on WikiHow, or if you just Google that, it'll give you all kind of information on extras. And so anyway, I hope that you will start adding extras to your film sets. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And that's all the information I will give at this time about extras casting and extra on-set coordination. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.